Hello and welcome to the podcast. Every moment is sacred, where we interweave meditation and healing into everyday life. I am your host, Rain Elizabeth Stickney. Now, let us begin. Hey, thank you so much for being here. Welcome back. It is the end of 2023, and I'm happy to share these 2 fun episodes for the whole family, no matter the age, newborn, elder, and everything in between. Little kids, big kids, mamas, papas, teenagers. I am overjoyed to share with you my partner Todd's stories for our son, Storm. This is the way it works. Probably no surprise, you may have done this yourself. My son gives my partner 3 things: a person, place, and thing. My partner creates a story on the spot. This is not so different from what I do with meditation, where people have requests and they want to hear a meditation on something important to them, like rest or enlightenment or relationship troubles or mindfulness or compassion. And no matter what anybody says, I take their words into my heart. So all of it is included, and I do my best to create a meditation on the spot. And when I do that, the meditation is just right for everyone who is listening. And if it's not just right, we get to have a conversation after. So that's my way. And Todd's way is to do this with a story for our child. Now, Todd travels often and more all the time for work. One of the places he goes is Amsterdam in the Netherlands. And recently, it was, December, I believe, or was it November? Anyway, on a recent trip, Storm gave some prompts to Todd, and Todd sent these audio files to Storm to listen to. And I thought, oh, this is perfect because I've been wanting to include Todd on this podcast somehow. Storm has shown up in a couple of episodes, and Todd and I have tried some different things that have not worked out to get him on the show. But this seemed so fun. And last Christmas in 2022, I really wanted to share one of Todd's stories. And that was one of the things that did not work out. But now you get 2. You get this episode and the next. And if you're listening to the second, you get this one and the one before. But they're both coming to you at the end of 2023 in celebration of the new year. I hope that you are winding down in a good way. And if you need something to look forward to, there is a free meditation coming up on January 4th, which is a Thursday. It's online. All of you are welcome to register. Go to rainelizabeth.org/Stillwater-meditation. And in the center of the page, you can click the link to register. You can also just go to rainelizabeth.org, and on the homepage, you can navigate from there. There's also the link to register in the show notes. If you are a person who likes to look at the show notes, there's just a hot link there. Click it and you can register for free. If 12 p.m. on Thursday, January 4th is not the best time for any reason, you can just watch the replay. So signing up means that you get on the list to get all of the meditation goodies. And what else do I have to say about that? The last one was so fun. It was in December and there was tons of engagement on the call. We came away with a great recording to share with everyone. And just a little bit of context, I've been teaching meditation since 2001. So that part is not new, but this format of how to share in this day and age and in an online venue that works for everyone, that's the part that I'm playing around with. So register come to meditation on January 4th. And for now, we have Todd's story of Rascally Raccoon for Storm. And you'll hear some of the love between Todd and Storm as well. And I am overflowing with joy to share this with you because healthy families are so important to me. I grew up in a family that is and was huge, and there was tons and tons of love. And there were also some troubles in my family. So anytime I can share the love for family, anytime I can encourage a family along their way in health and happiness and healing, I'm excited to do so. This is something that I intend to share more about on this podcast in 2024. Parenting resources. I am a parent coach. I love coaching parents and families, and when appropriate, getting to know the children as well. I've been a parent coach for so long, I'd have to think back to when did that even really start. I am trained in hand parenting by connection and also in simplicity parenting. And I have a couple of degrees in psychology, on and on with the credentials. Storytelling is a healing practice for anyone, and it is a healing practice for families. It is healing for the storyteller. It is healing for those who listen to the story. Perhaps one day Todd will teach you how he has learned to become an excellent storyteller. But for now, I offer this as inspiration, entertainment, celebration of the closing of 2023, and an invitation to rocket forward into 2024. Enjoy.
Hey, Storm. It's Daddy. Thanks for your 2 audio messages, and thank Mommy for sending those 2 pictures and that 1 video of you. It was pretty cool, you chopping that wood. You look like you're very strong, and looks like you're feeling better. So I'm so happy to see that. And Mommy showed me a picture of all the wood you guys collected in the wheelbarrow. That's exciting. So you gave me a person, place, and thing. You gave me young Rascally the Raccoon, some random person's garage, and a rocket motorcycle. Oh my gosh. You know what's going to happen now. It's going to be a big mess. Well, here goes. Young Rascally Raccoon is at his owner's house, and after the last disaster, oh boy, his owner asked him to stay home and said, don't go into my adventure shop, you stay in the house. So Rascally the Raccoon said, sure, and then the owner went to the store to buy some groceries. Rascally the Raccoon sat at the kitchen table, and he was just twiddling his thumbs. Then he decided to draw a picture, and then he ate some cookies and drank some milk, and then he went to go read some books, and then he was playing some marbles, and then he started running around the house and making the house messy, and was getting really restless. And he's like, I want to go see what's in the inventor's shed. What is he working on? What's my owner working on? And so he goes outside and peeks out the back window. All right, he goes into the kitchen, peeks out the back kitchen window, which overlooks the inventor's shed. And he sees the doors cracked open. He's like, oh, what if I just look in the door? Just take a peek. Nobody would know. No, my owner won't mind. I'm just looking. He said, don't go in the shed, but he didn't say I can't look in the shed. So, oh boy, Rascally the Raccoon finally decided to go outside. So he opened the door and he slowly walked down the stairs and looked both ways and listened carefully for his owner. And he scurried over to the shed, and he slowly put his hand on the shed door and opened it up just a crack, and it went. And he peeked inside, and the light was on. The skylight was the sun was shining brightly through the skylight, and he could see right inside on his workbench was the most beautiful bicycle you'd ever seen. And he was so excited, and he started gazing at the wheels and the pedals and the frame and the seat and the handlebars and the bell. Wait a minute. And his eyes darted to the back of the motorcycle. And there was something strange attached to the motorcycle. It looked like a jet. And then he looked further and looked closer, and it was 2 jets. And before you know it, as he was looking, and then he saw there was a tank under the main frame, and there was a helmet nearby. And before you knew it, Rascally Raccoon was sitting on the workbench admiring his owner's work. He totally forgot all about the instructions to not go in the inventor's shed. So, as Rascally Raccoons normally do, he put on the helmet and climbed aboard the bicycle. And he's like, well, I'm in here. As long as I'm in here, I might as well sit down. As long as I don't touch anything or break anything, it should be fine. So he convinced himself that he was okay to stay in the shed, in the inventor's shed, to sit on the bicycle, to put the helmet on. And then he was holding the handlebars and going, rum, 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 when he's powering the pedals, and he was just having such a good time. And then he started pedaling faster and faster. The bike was on the stand, so it wasn't going anywhere. But he could pedal faster and faster. He's making noises. And as he was doing that, he was so excited, he lost track of what he was doing. And his thumb hit a switch that powered up the engines. And he heard this. And he's like, what? And in his excitement and in his surprise, his other hand hit the other button. And then the bicycle started taking off right through the skylight. He shot right up into the sky, and he was flying, like steering all around and flying all around. He's pedaling, doing the pedals, and he was screaming because it was like so much fun, but also terrifying. And he went through the sky, and he started steering it and getting it under control. And then there was a skylight down below, and he's like, oh, that's the garage. And so he shot right back down, and he shot into the garage, but he broke the skylight. And he's like, how did I break a skylight when I just... And he's like, oh, no. And he was in some random stranger's garage, and he was just steering all around. It was a garage about the size of our garage. And so he was kind of going all around the corners and dodging the shovels and the bicycles hanging in their cardboard boxes, and he was flying all around the garage, and he knocked over some shelves, and then he shot right out of the garage door, and that exploded, and then he kind of drove into a tree, and then turned around, and he shot back into the garage, and then just took a few circles around the garage and shot right up the second skylight of the garage, and he was steering it all around. He's like, ah! And finally, he steers it all the way back down, and he lands on his front yard. And he goes, oh my goodness. And then he slowly pedals the bicycle back into his inventor's shed. And when he does that, his inventor's standing in the shed looking at him. It's like, where were you? He's like, he's like, I was just looking, and then my thumbs hit the switch. And he's like, oh my gosh. He's like, I just received a call from the neighbors. They said there was a flying bicycle in their garage just moments ago. And the Rascally Raccoon said, oh boy. And then he heard the police car, and they came. And the fire department came, and he looked at his owner and said, oh boy. And then he went into the house to sit on the front step. And then the owner walked to the front of the house and talked to the police and the fire department. And then he walked back to his Rascally Raccoon and said, oh boy. He said, the fire department and the police chief want to talk to you. So after they talked to him, Rascally Raccoon got the message that he shouldn't be riding the rocket cycle anymore. He's not old enough. So he understood, and he went inside, and then his owner thanked the policemen and the fire department for their assistance, and they went inside and finished up their day. And that is the story of young Rascally Raccoon, some random person's garage, and the rocket bicycle. Okay, buddy. I hope you sleep really well, and I love you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for listening. It has been a great joy to have your presence here in this podcast. I welcome you to celebrate the joy and wisdom in your life exactly as it is. And I welcome you to feel loved, fully loved, exactly as you are. www.rainelizabeth.org